Look at this. This is that okra that I cut down. Look at these things. Things are massive, right? And because I haven't been paying any attention to it, but also, can you see all the bugs? So many bugs. There's some on my beans too that I found yesterday. And then over here, I have pretty much the okra that I cut down, dying marigold, cucumbers that didn't make it because I didn't water them right. And then I have one living pumpkin. So we're gonna do some cleanup today. We're gonna start out here in these two beds. Everything just looks horrible. It looks so bad everywhere. So that's what we're starting with, because I have good pepper plants in here. Chili pequins. The sage is good. And then I have this tomato over here that is, and then there's carrots that I forgot about. So we're going to clean this out. We're going to see. It looks like the chickens might be getting some stuff today. Let me get my POV on and get my gloves on, because I don't want to touch these bugs. All right, let's get into it. It's been a couple of weeks. I'm going to tell y'all, last weekend, I didn't spend like any time at all outside. And what I did do was on Sunday, so the first Sunday of every month, I have family day with my dad and my husband and my children. And I videoed like the whole way into town, right? Like I was in my car and I took this video. My snips are not going to get through this. Oh yeah, they will. Anyway, and I was like, well, I didn't film scratching the dirt. I didn't do a scratching the surface video, so I'm gonna do it right here in the car. And I did. I filmed. And then after that, I never made a video. Like I never edited a video and posted it. So, oh, trooper. Yay. Good times. You just stay parked right there, buddy. Don't be coming after me. You stay parked right there. Okay. Sorry. This is one of the hazards of me filming while I'm driving. So that's been kind of the theme of the last couple of weeks for me. Is that I am just I'm still trying to adjust to this like new life, I guess, this new schedule, this new way of working, all of these things. So I've all week, like yesterday, all week I've been building up to kind of this like letdown, right? Like I couldn't figure it out, and like what was going on with me. Something just felt like, I don't know, I felt lazy or not energetic, but still I had energy. And I don't know, I texted Jose yesterday. It was like 2:00 in the afternoon. I was like, okay, well, I'm finally going into town to go to work. I had been at home all morning. I had to do a Zoom training in the morning, so I had to be here for that. And after that, I came out here and I had to water, and I did a couple little this and that's, but not really much of anything, because it was like, okay, if I get too into this, I'm just going to stick with it. Like I'm going to not work today, and I needed to work. I texted Jose and it's like, I'm just now going into town. I was like, I don't understand what's going on. I have low energy. I am. It's weird. Like I usually have way more energy than this. Especially since I started the carnivore, I haven't struggled with low energy. And he texted me back, and all it said was, your mojo is off. And I was like, son of a gun. Like it is. Now the question is, why? right? What is it? What is the thing? I've been feeling this way for a while now. Just, no big deal. Not like before. Like y'all heard me talk about how I was feeling before. It just felt off. And so I'm trying to work out what it is. Trying to work out what is the thing. Like, is there something subconsciously that's bothering me? Is there something happening that I'm not recognizing? That's what I got to figure out, because I can't fix it until I identify it. So I do know that yesterday struggled because I I thrive in what's called the flow state. We talk a lot about it in education. Um, when you're doing something and it has just the right amount of challenge to it, and it's something you really enjoy, or it's something that you're finding that you're good at, you get into this state of just, working, and you just keep going and keep going and keep going. And it's one of those situations where you look up and it's been 6 hours and you're like, whoa, I didn't even realize I've been doing this that long, because you were so into your task and you were enjoying it so much. That's when I work best, right? Like, I'm always kind of striving subconsciously for that flow state. So yesterday, I do know I struggled because I took this training, and by the time we got off the Zoom, I was like, oh, now I want to do all this. Like, there were all these things that I could have been doing, working like with my student data and doing all kinds of stuff to help my students. And I had to force myself. You need to set it down, because if you start this, you're going to be here for 4 or 5 hours. And then you're going to look up and go, crap, I needed to go to work and I didn't work. Right. So I know that is work. That's part of my job that I'm teaching. But it wasn't what I needed to do specifically on that day. Right. It's not what I needed to do yesterday. So then somehow, even I came outside after that, and I again had to say, okay, you got to go in. You got to go get cleaned up. You got to go to work. Today is not your garden day. You're going to be out here tomorrow, because that's what I planned for today. So I had to start and stop on a couple of things that I was really into. And then I got into town to go to work, and I got frustrated about an order, because the customer changed the delivery time, and then the app company dinged me for not completing an order, even though the order I took was for a different time, and they changed it. It became a whole new order, right? In my opinion, it becomes a new thing, because if I want an order that has a delivery window between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m., then that means I'm available to work on that order between 4 and 5. When you change the delivery window to 5 to 6, that becomes a different thing. So I tried to argue this, but they did not listen, which is fine, whatever. It all comes down to the fact that kind of stuff, I think, is automated, and there's nothing the human can do. The system just does it that way. Great. Well, moving on. So what I did after that made me mad. I just turned on a different app, and I ended up having a wonderful little work session. It was shorter than I had originally wanted it to be, but that was my fault. I didn't leave town early enough. I didn't go to work early enough. But during the course of that, I decided to do some favors, which is a Texas-based company. I think they're only in Texas. And it was the orders I took were where you basically go to HEB curbside, and you pick up orders that people have ordered through the HEB app, and you deliver them for them. So the people that chose delivery, they contract that out to favor drivers, who also, do food. Favor also does food like DoorDash or Uber Eats, and they also do like shop for your groceries and deliver it like Ship does. So there's lots of different kinds of orders you can get on Favor. Because I was frustrated, I was excited to have just the delivery. Like, give me a minute to just, you know, calm down, drive rather than shop. And it was wonderful. I met one of the ladies I delivered to had come outside to meet me, and I chatted with her for a few minutes. She was so sweet, and she was like the nicest person. And it just like helped me get back into a better mood. And then I just kept working until dark. Once it got dark, I was like, I need to go home. I don't like delivering in the dark. I'd still there's still a part of me that was raised by my mother, and I was warned of all the dangers, and so I still have some of that. I also have a really hard time seeing addresses in the dark. So that's always kind of frustrating. And it's interesting though too. A lot of people will set their stuff up to get delivered after dark. Sorry, I'm bent over here. The camera's just swinging. But then they won't turn their porch light on. So if you don't have your porch light on, how am I supposed to see where to deliver? I can't see the address on your house. I can't see the porch from the street. Like, that frustrates me, and I'm not really interested in what I really don't want to do is accidentally walk up to the wrong person's house. I'm in Texas. That's not a good thing to do. So, anyway, I came home, and now here I am outside, starting to sweat already, and trying to clean up some of this. So, the moral of the story right now is that I really kind of want to try to process through like what it is. Like when Jose said my mojo is off, and I was like, yes, that's exactly it. I really want to try to define that, right? So I know what to work on. And it's kind of hard because the novelty of this new kind of lifestyle is starting to wear off, right? Like at first it was all exciting, and I'm the master of my own universe here, and I can schedule my own time and do the things that I want to do. And then over the last 5 weeks or so, since I left my job, I've been having a ton of fun. Don't get me wrong. I really like doing the gig work. Like, I really, really like it. But then some of the pitfalls of it have started to show up. Like, you can't control whether there are orders or not. And because I have 3 days a week where I work another job that I'm responsible for, and that job requires more than just those hours. Anybody out there who's a teacher, that I've never found a teaching job that pays you for all of the hours you actually work. So because there's planning, and there's going through student data, and there's, trying to write plans specifically for certain skills because, 6 of your students are struggling with that skill, but 5 of them are fine on that skill. So you got to differentiate and have different things. And, when you put it into words exactly what it's like, it can sound like ridiculous and impossible and a lot. But when you're living it, and these are human beings who just need your help, then yeah, I'm not getting paid for these extra hours that I'm writing these extra plans and writing extra practice for you, but you're a human, and I want you to be successful, and it's my job, my duty almost as your instructor, your teacher, to make sure you get there, right? So all that to say, my little 10-hour a week job is turning out to be more than 10 hours a week. Fine, not mad about it. But it does require some changes in the way I'm thinking about my schedule, and the way I'm thinking about what hours I can put where and on what. And so, sorry, these are kind of hard to get out. I think the combination of this schedule kind of showing itself over the last couple of weeks since I started this job. Plus the fact that I had 3 weeks ago, I had a massive week on gig work. Like as far as finances go, like as far as money goes, like I had a stellar week and I was like, oh, this is the way this is going to be. Awesome. Heck yeah, we can make this work. And then all of a sudden, and I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but I will say that it coincided with the government shutdown. The orders started drying up. And so it wasn't for lack of trying, right? Like I was there, I was ready to work, but there just wasn't any orders. And so if nobody's ordering and paying for somebody to shop for them and deliver their groceries, then I have no work to do. And I don't know why that could be. I mean, there's lots of reasons. It could be because there's a train and I need to pause this because it's loud. Okay, train's gone. So, like I was saying, the orders could be drying up for lots of reasons. It could be, like I was saying, the government shutdown. It's not like I live near Washington, D.C., but we do have in our community federal people who were furloughed because of the shutdown. It could be just a general unease because of that, like people trying to watch their money and then they'll do their own shopping instead of pay for it, whereas a month ago they wouldn't. It could also be that more people are working the app, right? Like there's more shoppers, more people. And so the same number of orders are being split among a greater number of people. It could be the times that I'm available to work. I've thought about that. I've thought about maybe if I try working earlier, like flipping my days. Obviously, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are what they are. I have to be in class when I have to be in class. My other days, though, I can flip. Like I could shop early and shop and deliver early in the day, and then do the other stuff in the late part of the day. So I've thought about that. I might do that. I could be just, I really like Shipped. I really like that app. I like doing that. But then I saw yesterday with Favor, I delivered groceries, and because it's faster than shopping, I made more money in a shorter period of time. Like the per minute, per hour, whatever, was more than it would be with Shipped. The thing for me about that is that you only get those orders when they're available, right? So like if I want to go in and work a 6-hour shift on Favor, if it's one of the days where people aren't really like getting delivery order or grocery deliveries, then I'm going to be getting the food orders, which would be fine, except for Favor still, for some reason. I actually signed up for Favor in 2020 during COVID. And back then, it bothered me then, and it still bothers me now. They have this thing where the driver, you actually place the order for the customer, right? Not like DoorDash or Uber Eats, where they do it on their app, the restaurant gets it, and then you're just the person that comes and picks it up. So for food orders, it takes longer, right? Because you have to place the order, you have to wait for it to be made, cooked, and ready and all that. And so when you're looking at that kind of time to do one order, it's not very cost effective, right? So I tend to gravitate towards the shopping and the just delivering. So the shop and deliver or the just deliver. So, there's a lot of things that are out of my control as far as that goes. And so struggling with that for sure. That definitely is a struggle. The fact that I have 2 weeks now in a row where I haven't been able to make as much money as I needed to, that has me discombobulated. Sorry, y'all, this is really in here. Okay. And then also just kind of this general, like, it's almost like a sadness I'm feeling because I want to be out here, right? Like this is what I need. The garden has always been kind of like my therapy. Like it's my exercise, it's my therapy. Oh, it's time for me to not have to think about anything I don't want to think about. I can just process out here and like last week. So today's Saturday. Today's October 11th. So until yesterday, the Friday before was the first time I'd been in the garden. It was the first time I actually opened the garden gate. Dang it, that pepper. So a full week went by. Yeah, I didn't come out here last Saturday because I went into town to work because the orders were so bad. I worked on a Saturday when I normally don't. I miss my time in the garden. I think that's part of it too. I think that out here, even though I've said it before that I'm just over it, I'm over the summer garden, I'm ready to move on. There's still work to be done, and there's still the benefits of being outside that I'm missing out on because I don't feel like I have enough time to be out here. So I promised myself that no matter what, I would get out here today. And I'm going to go as long as I can and do as much as I can. And then I'm going to go inside, and I harvested a bunch of jalapenos yesterday that I'm going to pickle. And there are football games I want to watch. I'm not going to get to see them all because I am going to be out here, and that's okay. But there's evening games that I'm interested in. So I can do that. And that's going to be my Saturday. Today is just going to be garden, pickling, and football. And I'm going to try to reset and, get ready for the new week. Because I am going to work tomorrow. I am going to go into town and I am going to work. And so today's going to be my only full day off for the week. I'm not going to do any work. I'm not going to look at any of the teaching stuff. I'm not going to go into town and do orders. I'm just here. And then Jose started a fire in the barbecue pit. And I was like, careful about doing that. Because your ass will be going to the meat market and getting me a steak and cooking. And so maybe if I'm lucky, he will actually go get me a steak and cook it, which would be awesome because I've been really like, I haven't eaten steak in a couple of weeks. Some of y'all are following me on my carnivore vlog, and I've been really, really, really into hamburger patties and eggs. Right? So I do it one of two ways. I eat my hamburger patties, like I, cook them in the pan, in the kitchen, on the stove. And then I do my eggs, either I scramble them, not like, I don't put butter in the pan. I put butter in the eggs when I scramble them in the bowl. Like I chop it up into tiny little bits and then I scramble it right in there. And for me, when I scramble it, like they just melt into the eggs. It's so good. So I've been like really, really, since I came across that method, I've been really, really into it. And so I've been doing that, and I eat that with the hamburger patties. Like literally take a bite of patty, like on my fork. There's a bite of patty and there's a bite of egg, and I eat that. Or I've been cooking the eggs over easy and putting them on top of the hamburger patties and letting the yolk become like a sauce. Oh, so good. And so, of course, I get, I can't remember what they call them, but I've always been, I eat the same thing over and over again until I never want to eat it again. Hyperfixation meal, right? That's what they call it. So, hamburger patties and eggs has been my hyperfixation meal lately. And which I'll very happily, like, that's what I was planning on eating today. I was just going to cook some more of that until Jose started a fire. And now I don't know. I'm going to see what he, sometimes he gets distracted doing, because that man has a never ending list of things that has to get done. And so I don't know if he was going to actually cook or not. We'll see. If not, I'll be perfectly happy eating my hamburger patties and eggs. I'm a simple girl. It didn't take much to make me like satisfied, happy. So I will say, pulling those weeds, these weeds that you've been seeing me pull ever since I got done with the okra, that was not actually part of the plan. I just, again, got distracted. So I'm gonna take a break real quick. I'm gonna go get a towel because I'm sweating and I need to like wipe my face. And I'm gonna go do that. And then I'm gonna come back and do what I actually need to do, which is pull these carrots out and fix this tomato. So there's all these carrots in here, but then that tomato, I can't even really see what it's doing. There's just too much stuff. So I'm also probably going to come in and just trim these beans. And whatever's growing up, I'm going to let it go. There's bugs on it, so I'm not going to harvest from this anymore. But I kind of want to leave the bugs because they're there. They're not touching anything else, right? Like they're after the okra and the beans. So I'm taking the okra out. But if I leave the beans, maybe they won't mess with anything else. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go take my break. Please hold. Okay, took my little break. I had to go blow my nose. For some reason, my nose is running really bad this morning. Okay, took my break. Then I started filming again, and then Jose came and interrupted me. So now I'm just, this is actually pretty dry, and I watered this yesterday, so that's good to know. I'm going to pull these out. You see them? They're not very big. I didn't thin them. And this is basically just going to chickens. I don't think we're going to get any good carrots out of this at all. So, anyway, I don't know. Y'all. How's everybody else doing? Like, is anybody else struggling a little bit? Or, I just don't know. There are times when I wonder if it's just like a moment of collective struggle. Hey, so as you can see, I guess the way I'm going to cut this or edit this is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to talk here, and I'm going to go ahead and just keep playing the footage of me out in the garden for a little bit. You know, I have this one. So I have this microphone, and then I have the little fuzzy one, which I can switch out the tops or whatever. But the one that's got the fuzzy top on it is the one I was using this morning. And the last 3 times I've had microphone problems, it's been that one. Like, it's fine. The light was green. I checked it before I started talking, and it went a minute and then it just cut out. Then I went and I videoed, like I stopped the video and I did more, and I checked it and it was green and it didn't record anything. So, or any audio. So now I want to that probably sounds like just wrestling. But anyway, the last statement on that video was, talking about collective suffering or struggle. And so I went ahead and I talked about that some more, and I'm not going to try to recreate the magic. That was just what I was thinking at that time when I was in that mood. That was a few hours ago. I think the point is that, I am still working towards coming up with what this life looks like for me now. And it's none of it is bad. Please do not get me wrong. I'm loving all of it. I just, we got to go through these motions. We got to figure out what works best for us. And that's where I am. I'm in the trial and error phase of what does life look like when you don't have a regular full-time job and you're trying to do multiple different things. I had actually talked about this when I videoed in my car last weekend, because that's when I had started to notice that this scheduling thing was maybe a problem for me that I needed to figure out a solution to. And it is, and I will. And so I'm not upset about it. I'm just trying to process it. And that's what these scratching the surface videos are all about. I did in the original video, I do remember, I was kind of asking you guys as the audience whether or not y'all are feeling this right now. Is it the season change? Because I know in some places you guys actually have fall. We're still at 90 degrees here. But, I do see that the leaves are starting to brown on the trees, and we are 90 degrees, not 99 degrees. So there are changes, seasonal changes coming. Is it, sorry, I saw something moving outside. Is it, that the holidays are fast approaching? Is it what's going on with the government shutdown? What could it be? I don't know. Are y'all feeling it? Or, I, of course, pick the end of the year when everything gets really busy and crazy to kind of uproot my entire schedule and routine and do something new. So maybe this is all just self-inflicted. And again, that's cool. I'll figure it out. I always figure stuff out. I just have to go through the process. It's been interesting actually having this outlet, though, to go through the process, to just be out there, getting dirty, getting sweaty, and thinking it through out loud rather than just doing it in my head. It's been fun. I wish, like I said previously in the video, that I had more time. I really like it is my therapy. It really helps me when I can spend a considerable number of hours outside. And I haven't been recently because I've been working and trying to figure out how to juggle these two different jobs that I have now, rather than just one full-time with regular hours. Now I'm trying to figure out all this other stuff. But I will say that Jose did go get me a steak, and he did cook it on the Barbie, and it was delicious. It was so good. And he got back, and I was like, what steak did you get for you? He's like, I didn't get one. I was like, oh, it's so sweet. Like he didn't even want a steak, but he did go to the meat market and he did get one for me. And he also got me some fajita meat, like skirt steak, because I've kind of been craving that lately because I have been eating so many burgers. I was like, I just want some steak a little bit. The skirt steak sounds great. So I have that for tomorrow to eat. But really, I think that's going to be it. I am really striving towards figuring out how to do scratching the dirt, get these scratching the surface videos out, and the carnivore vlog, and teach and plan and do gig work and get time out in the garden with the chickens and out with the garden and get ready. It's fall. We're coming up on fall here. It's time for me to start thinking about next steps. And like I said, at some point, I honestly don't even know what things make the videos anymore, but I did. I talked about it when I was in the car. I did order onion starts, which is really exciting. So I was able to find onion starts. I waited too long. So it took me I went to 5 different websites before I found somebody that wasn't sold out, because we wanted to get them in the ground in October. But I waited too long. They all sold out. And I found one that had some, but they won't ship till November. So the beds that I'm working on in this video, those are the beds where the onion starts are going to go. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and get those cleaned out. Probably the one that just has the one pumpkin, that's the only thing that's pretty much living over there. The rest of that bed, I will finish pulling the weeds and I'll rehab the dirt and I'll get the onions in before, or as soon as they come in November, I'll work on that. But there's lots of things I still want to do out there. I'm still pulling peppers. I'm still actually pulling some tomatoes. So the garden's not gone. The summer garden is still going, but fall garden is going to start coming in, or fall cleanup is going to start coming in. One of the two. Definitely onions, and we'll see what else. But that's going to be it for now. I don't. I had a lot more footage, but my mic. I guess I need to put it somewhere where I can actually see this tiny little green light on here. If that goes out and it's not recording because either the battery died or I don't know what happens. But if that goes out, I don't know it because you've seen what I do. I just talk. I just keep doing what I'm doing and I talk and I'm not paying any attention. So I'm not going to use all that footage, but that's it. That's all we're going to do for this week. Thank you for scratching the dirt and scratching the surface with me. You guys let me know if y'all are having, it's not a funk. Like if y'all are having this thing where things maybe your mojo's off, like Jose says, maybe you're feeling it too. Let me know if you think, if you've gotten to the root of that and you know what might be going on. But also in the meantime, be sure to keep up with me on the carnivore journey. That one has been kind of up and down for me as far as learning. So that's kind of exciting to talk about a couple of times a week and get your responses. I learned a lot in the last week from comments people left me. So I'll talk about that tomorrow on the carnivore. Well, today, because I'll when this posts, it'll be Sunday. So later this evening, I'll have a carnivore video. But you guys have a great week. I hope that whatever's going on with me is just me and that you aren't feeling it too. But if you are, let me know. Let me know what kind of solutions you're coming up with. But have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful week. And thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, share, do the things. And I will see you soon. Bye.